Intermittent fasting. I've done it. I know so many people who have done it. They're doing it going into the summer this year. But now there's a study saying it might be linked to cardiovascular troubles. Why? Tell us more.
There's studies and then there's studies. So first thing I want to do is tear the study apart. I mean, this was done, Chinese medical school, reported to the American Heart Association. It's not a peer-reviewed kind of prospective trial. They asked people about 2 days of their diet, didn't consider any other lifestyle factors, right? So I say this because this is a very small study, and we have this whole other body of literature that says, hey, ketone metabolism is better than sugar. Lower stress hormones come out, lower inflammation comes out when you do intermittent fasting. So there's this new small kind of paper. I don't know that I'd call it a study per se.
Fair enough.
Cross-sectional retrospective. People have to remember there's recall bias, things like that. And we look at that and say that, geez, that goes against all this other literature we have. So I wouldn't count it out just yet. We should expand on that, but we definitely shouldn't count out all this other data we have that shows the positive effects of intermittent fasting.
Very quickly, any advice for people who are planning on intermittent fasting? Should they go ahead with it?
Talk to your doctor because it is so nuanced. Nuance is medicine. Each person can be considered individually for this decision.
Speaking of diet trends, a lot of people on Ozempic, Wegovy, but now we're hearing that women are getting pregnant while on Ozempic despite being on birth control.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. There's two things that are happening, probably in combination, but either or. One, if you're on birth control, it can change the metabolism sometimes of the birth control. Other medicines can do this. Usually that's that can be a positive or negative thing, but it can hypermetabolize your birth control so it's not in your system as long as you think it is, right? So it can increase the metabolism and throw it out of your system.
Sure.
The other thing I would say is that, you know, when you take a look at these medicines, we have several conditions like PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which create insulin resistance, and that's why you're infertile. So by correcting that, you promote fertility. It doesn't make you more fertile. These medicines don't, if you have ovarian failure or something like that, it won't wake up the reproductive system, but it will clear obstacles in the way, like insulin resistance, for example, and obesity, which will increase estrogen levels and make reproduction harder. So it'll facilitate fertility, and it's very promising, actually.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
It always is when I talk to you. Dr. Tom Pitts, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.